try to build a business for making some money. Then during the COVID, the worst period in our life. Back then, when you have 6 locations and the leader was so far, it was sound a little bit like crazy. A chain will always have a little bit more advantage. This is the reality. They said, okay, but what can you guarantee? I don't have really a good guarantee for you. Only the machines. I will do my best that they are not feeling the same in my gym as they feel in their offices. Don't try to make a big gym because you cannot compete with somebody who will spend 1 million in that similar gym.
Find your niche and become the best.
And become the best there. After 2021, we managed to open something like 48 gym until now.
Wow. Thanks for doing this, Alexandru.
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for coming to Romania.
Oh, I love Bucharest. I mean, one of my favorite cities in the world. And I remember speaking to a couple of my friends before I was traveling, and they have a certain impression about Romania. And I don't know why, but I think most people have not even traveled to Romania, and they think of Romania as they hear about it, but they've never visited the place. This is my, I think, second trip to Bucharest. The first time was, if you remember, last year. Last year when we had the conference, the Central Eastern European conference. I was, Kent had invited me over, and I was absolutely blown away with the kind of progress. And more than the progress, I think this attitude towards talking to each other and learning from each other as a gym chain and not looking at each other as competition. And I mean, you've got such amazing people who travel from different parts of Europe, who come down and share best practices, openly tell, what's the best way of doing it. Because they realize that the importance is not only about how well you do, it's about getting more people in the fitness industry. So I love this about Romania, and that's why I love to travel here. And I get to speak to people like you, legends, in their own right, in the way what you've done in the industry. So I'll jump straight into it. What gets an engineer to build one of the fastest growing gym chains in Romania?
Yeah, it's a not so popular story because it wasn't a plan before. We tried to, with my associate, we tried to build a business for making some money. We don't have in our plans to build the fastest growing chain in Eastern Europe, let's say. So we just started in 2012. I joined the company because he was the first one who opened the first gym. And then I joined the company, let's say, for the second gym. And we tried together to open 1 gym per year until 2020. Then during the COVID, you know how it was, the worst period in our life regarding the business at least, and not only the business. And then we managed to create a plan to attract some investors and then to skyrocket. And after 2021, we managed to open something like 48 gym until now.
Wow.
And let's keep it on the same path.
Yeah, and I remember the last time I met you at 52 gyms, and I'm seeing you after a month, you're already at 55.
Yeah.
So what, at this pace, how do you manage to, have quality checks in place? Because I remember back in the day when I used to have my gym chain, one of my biggest concerns was every new gym should look like another, Multifit. For me, that was the brand. And I've visited your branches, I've seen how you've grown, and I've obviously seen from last year when I saw when you were, I think at that point in time, you were refurbishing a few gyms, and now the product is consistent. So what does it take that for an organization of your size? It's easy to scale from 1 to 5, but the rate at which you're scaling, how do you make sure that you don't drop the ball and the quality, the consistency, the product is the same and people experience the same StayFit for which, they come to you?
Yeah, so we try to make the same concept. We try to adapt the concept for every building that we manage to take it. But in the same time, I have a good friend, Fahad it's called. He grew a chain of 150 gyms.
Wow.
And he told me, try your best to not keep exactly the same gym one to another for 5 years in a row, because it will be a moment when we need to start renovated, and we cannot do it with 150 gyms altogether. So we try to improve the location from one to another as much as we can. If you will take a look to our gym that was open in 24 and then what we opened in 25, you'll see some difference. Mostly regarding the technology. We try to bring the best equipment that we can find, and that is suitable for our concept. So regarding the design, we do our best to keep the same feeling for the members who want to train in different location. We have the same feeling. We have pretty much 80% the same core equipment, let's say. But we fight to improve. For example, in this year, we bring 2 more equipment brands with some equipment, only to put some sparklings there. And as I said, we try to improve. Of course, you ask me about how we can do it. We have a very, very good team. I know it's the same answer for everybody, but my team is really special because they are really involved in everything. And at the beginning, I was really involved in really everything from a bulb to equipment and everything. Yeah. Now I'm not that involved in process, because we try to split our team in one team who manage the existing clubs, who manage the existing chain, and we have a separate team who develop. Of course, in the last days of an opening, we mix it to do our best in the last 2% of construction. But now we are separate. We try to act separate because we have a full road. We need to open at least this year, at least another 10 gyms.
This year is just 4 months now.
Yeah. We'll have 2 or 3 per month.
You're joking?
No, I'm not joking. And unfortunately, the first part of the year was a little bit. We have some buildings that was postponed for handover, and then 5 or 6 location was moved to second part of the year, and now it's a bit crowded, but I am sure that we'll manage to get in December for holidays with 65 locations, something like that.
Alex, you spoke something about your customers. Tell me, how do you align your customer profile? And I'm saying more from, say, somebody who's listening to this podcast and it's got 1 or 2 gyms or 3 gyms, and now is at a stage where they want to scale to 10, 20, 30 gyms somewhere in the world. And they look at your case study and say, you really made this work well for yourself. So you learned it, you spent some time to perfect the model, and you have now an ICP, you've got an ideal customer profile where you say, this is my customer. How do you align your staffing, your gym layouts, where you choose the property to what your customer is? So what's the science that goes behind this? You can't randomly be picking up buildings and saying, okay, if I get a building, I'll take it. Most people end up doing that and then they fail miserably. I remember we spoke over lunch and you spoke about the restaurant business. And you said, I have 7 restaurants as well. But the 2 that do really well because of multiple other factors. The other 5 are not able to replicate that. If I go back to the gym industry and say, you've got a customer profile, there is a particular kind of a customer who goes to StayFit. How do you align your entire gym, the movement of the gym, the working of that gym, including the staffing, the layout, where you locate it, what facilities you give them? What's the math? What's the science behind it?
I think we need, when you decide to grow up a chain, we need to fulfill an empty place in the market. When we start growing with StayFit, in the market was only one big player. They are very focused on, let's say, more premium gym, more for office people. It was not so energetic, let's say, from our perspective. And we said, okay, we need to build StayFit like an urban gym It should be places in the residence area. Should change the atmosphere for the people who are going to their offices, and after their schedule in office they want to go to the gym. I will do my best that they are not feeling the same in my gym as they feel in their offices. So how to create that? I will allow to have a little bit different music, a little bit louder if it's necessary. I will work out with the design to be a little bit more, let's say, urban, but in the same time with some more colors to be attractive. I said, okay, people need to train, of course, but they need also to feel good there. They need to be disrupted by their usual business. And I don't want to my gym to be an extension of their office. I need to create something else for them. People used to go a lot in the clubs, in the disco back then. Of course, I cannot build a gym like a disco. But as you know, probably already the gyms all over the world, it's transforming in the social meeting points. So let's create those gyms to be good also for social meeting, because a younger generation now used to meet in their gym. So let's create that for those kind of people. And then we structure our members, and we understand that we have a dominance group of people, that it's Z generation, of course. Then we adapt our classes for a lot of people. We have people from 40 years, children. We have kids classes for 7 years. We have also yoga and everything for the millennials, or even people to 75 years. So we are open for many of those members, but to be really honest, we are focused on Generation Z, early millennials. This is our main group.
So how does that impact your staffing? So if that's your profile, what kind of people would you hire?
People regarding the reception, because we have reception, we try to do our best there. We don't drop the reception. We have younger generation, to be honest. I think the average age in reception is 25, something like that. But we also work, let's give you an example. We work on music. We start looking at what's the hour when the younger generation train. And we have a common radio and all over the gyms.
Nice.
We have a collaboration with a DJ. And for those hours who we consider it's mostly the biggest attendance from the Z generation, we start putting trap music, for example.
How do you track this? How do you track the profile of customers who walk in? This is very interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty easier from control access. And we look at what kind of people are going from different hours in our gyms. And we, of course, it's not always the same, but you have the majority of people in some hours after maybe when they finish their classes and the college, I don't know, this kind of examples, or maybe early in the weekend or something like that. We track them, and we try to adapt music as much as we can for this group of people.
Nice. What CRM do you use?
We use Upfit.
Upfit.
George is in Romania.
Yeah. I think George has done a great job. He knows the pulse of the market, and I think he's very. What I really like about George is he's very open to ideas, and always constantly I can see him always constantly trying to learn what can I do more, what can I do more for my customers. He's obsessed with the product. He's obsessed with the customer, and I think a lot of times people don't understand that technology is a mode or a medium. The customer is the center of their universe, not the technology. The technology is an enabler. The technology should make life easier. So I think he does that job really well. I have another friend of mine who runs a CRM company. His name is Hadi. He runs a company called Fitness Force. I used to always tell him, I remember he used to tell me, Samir, you can get anybody to build tech. What you need to understand is, what does the customer want? And do you have your ears on the ground to know? So the CRM becomes very important, and see what you can do with a good CRM. Like what you just said, I think most gym owners, independent, one or two, they will never know how you operate at scale, because they've not done it. It's not that they're not intelligent, it's just that they've not done it. So imagine, okay, correct me if I'm wrong here. So what you're saying is, you've looked at your data across the 55 gyms and you said, okay, in these 55 gyms, these are my times which are peak hours. This is the demographic that comes in those peak hours. So in these peak hours where 80% of my audience is between this age and this age, the DJ should play this music. Fuck, this is so amazing.
Yeah.
Like, but imagine, I don't think an independent will ever be able to understand.
To be honest, this is the main reason that a chain will always have a little bit more advantage. This is the reality. I don't want to be rude or something like that, but in reality, we have more people who are thinking a solution to improve the members' life there, the members' journey. And also, to be very honest, I have my theory related with Romanian market, because we was 10 years before, Romanian market was very, very low. Then all the networks, all the social networks appear. And of course, they came with a lot of problems for the younger generation. I don't know, and it's too much social network there. But in our industry, at least, the social network help us to burn some stages in development. Because if you look at Germany or UK 10 years ago, you have there a very powerful market still 10 years ago. In Romania, it was, I don't know, 100 gyms probably, 150 gyms, I don't know. And then younger generation start using Instagram, for example. They saw their model there. And we managed to burn some stages, and also us, like providers, like gyms owners. We managed to take a look in outside of our country, and it was this. The last 10 years was fulfilled with a lot of technology in our industry, and back then we didn't invest a lot of money in technology. Before, and then we create our gyms right in the middle of control access with QR code. With all I met also gym owners with a lot of gyms. They are still blocked in the oldest technology. They cannot go apart from RF cards because it's still good, but they are kept somehow in big investment they have done 15 years ago, and they cannot switch the technology very, very quick. But us, because we appear just in the right moment with a lot of good technology in the fitness industry, we already adopted, and that's why Romanian market is growing. And now I think it's okay. We have a lot to learn from the biggest market still, but we are in the right path.
Yeah, and I think that exactly what I started my discussion with, when I actually got blown away when I saw the Central Eastern European conference, because there's so much data, there's so much information, there's so much that can be learned. I remember, George, I think, spoke about it. He's been across in the UK. He used to work, and he's doing some consulting work. He came in from the UK, and if you remember, we saw his graph between how the UK moved, and then I actually thought to myself, really, Pure Gym didn't exist before this data point. Ooh, and that changed the market. So when you look at a new player comes into the market, like Pure Gym entered the UK market, completely disrupted the way the way fitness was seen. And I think that disruption needs to be done for you to open new markets and different populations to come in. So this is important that you share best practices from across the world, and we all can learn. I mean, the idea of this, and as we were walking here, the idea of this podcast is that, somebody who's sitting in Australia can listen to your story and say, this makes sense. Somebody in India can do that. Somebody in Dubai can do that. It's about learning from people who built it. And I don't think, with no disrespect to people who are employees of companies, but nobody can tell you like an entrepreneur, because you have multiple. You're juggling with a lot of balls at that point of time. You're trying to do a lot of things at the same time, and you can't keep the fact away that everything you have is on the line when you're doing a business, right? It's yours. I mean, stay fit is you. At the end of the day, it's your life. That's what you do. So I think that learning is very important, and for people to appreciate that this guy who's talking here knows what he's talking about, and he's done it himself. He's not just come in there and into a, so like CEOs who join a company which already 100, 200, 500 gyms. They can't tell you the journey of 1 to the 100. And that 1 to 100 is a very difficult journey, right? Surviving the 1 is very difficult itself. So
maybe 1 to 20. It's very hard, and then you need to reorganize the teams. You need to reorganize the procedure, and then it's becoming hard and hard.
It does. I mean,
but of course, as you said, you need to get over having 1 and 2, and then you'll see what happened.
So also tell me about, okay, now you know the population, you've done the CRM, you've done the music, you've done, your staffing. How do you finalize on, okay, what equipment goes in? Like some of the gyms could have really hardcore areas. I did this mistake. I was opening Multifit in Manchester. This is back in, I think, 2016 or 17, I think. And somebody told me, man, boxing is massive in the UK. I didn't know fuck about UK. I was just investing money and saying that, we'll build a gym there and see and learn from there. Obviously, it's a world market. The same reason. I'll come there and learn from competition. I'll take those best practices back to the UAE and to India and see, how we can improve. And this guy comes in and tells me, put up a boxing ring. We lost 600 members. Females just left the gym because you had dudes coming in boxing, and that was, I learned it the hard way. So I not only did I invest in, so I took some equipment out, made some space, got a boxing ring, put this up here to lose 600 members. It's crazy.
Not a great idea.
Not a great idea. But I learned from it. Another thing you spoke about was, which is again, all markets are different. I still remember, I think last couple of months back when we were in Timosara, we were in one of your gyms, and I asked you this question: how many days do people attend the gym here, if they paid for it? And you said it's not like the UK where you got so many sleepers. Could you tell me about that, more about that?
So after a few years that I travel a lot in the world to see different markets, from Singapore to Saudi to Sweden to a lot of country, I realized that specifically the fitness market are so different in different country. And I realized that after if I saw something beautiful outside, I need to came in Romania to understand if that will work. And yes, let's talk about, you first asked me about equipment.
Yes.
Usually for an entrepreneur, it's hard to raise a chain like that. But it is a little bit more harder when you raise a chain in your country as a first chain.
Yeah.
And I will give you an example. I don't want to complain and to show off, but imagine that when I choose the equipments now, it's easier to choose and to buy equipment, but you need to think so much about after sales.
Correct.
And the biggest competitor in Romania, let's say, used to have around 40 something to 50 gyms in only 4-5 cities. Now we have 55 in this moment in 23 cities.
Wow.
The major problem for us was the after sale, the repairing, the maintenance, because all the providers of the equipments in Romania wasn't prepared to go in all over the Romania for 24-hour intervention, let's say. So we are the first one who faced this problem. And at the beginning, our offer of suppliers is decreasing so much because it's remaining only maximum 2 suppliers who can help us with this kind of problem. It was my problem. It was my problem to ask them 24-hour intervention for every piece of equipment that is broke. And nobody came. Everybody said, okay, bring this kind of equipment, bring this kind of brand. It's cool to have Atlantis, to put Prime, to put this kind. It's very good equipment. But if I don't have people to make maintenance, to have after sale, to repair it, it's useless.
Correct.
After 3 months, after first breakup of equipment, it's off.
Correct.
So my first and my primordial objective is to find somebody who will help me to keep those gyms alive with good equipment and functional equipment. That's why I decided to work with Matrix. I work with Matrix now in Romania. There is also Techno Gym that have some power here, let's say, but that's all. Even the other biggest, like Life Fitness, it's not present in Romania, only a little bit. So regarding also, mostly the cardio, because you know how it is, cardio is the most problematic. And if you don't have the perfect man to solve it, you will stay with broken pieces.
Absolutely.
Of course, when you go to choose rigs, to choose barbers, it's not so problematic. So this is one thing that it's primordial for me when I choose the equipment. And then I forgot the second question. It was about equipment and another one.
What did I ask you?
No. About you said about Timișoara.
Yeah. The sleepers.
Așa. Yeah. So probably the biggest difference in Romanian market, if you compare it to Western market, because we still have a low penetration here. It's around, let's say 5, optimistic. But this is an average for a country, because in the bigger city probably it will be 7, 8, 9. The smaller city will be 2-3%. So
average 5% is your penetration
in Romania. Yeah. In this moment, in Romania there is something like 1,000 plus gyms in Romania, and we all target roughly 1 million members. So when you look at this, you will see those 1 million members are pretty much the ones who really want to join the gyms and to work out. And you will see in Romania an average of depend of the city, but I think my data it's pretty much correct for the country level, because as I said, 23 city, 55 gyms, different kind of population, residential offices is mixed, and we have between 9 and 11 check-in per month for a person.
Very high.
It's very high. That's why all the people who came from outside, maybe it's not good to tell their name, but there is chain from Germany, there is chain from Italy who start trying to build a chain here. In 2 years, they only open one gym, and maybe they retracted. It was one from Italy who dropped the plans. Yeah, no? Because we really need to adapt the business to the market. Yeah. Because if you came in Romania, if you make a plan to have 3 or 4 members per square meter, it's crazy. We'll never do it. I don't think we have 2 gyms in Romania who can say they have 3 or 4 gyms per square meter. In Romania, if you manage to have 1 members per square meter, it's a good deal.
Wow.
And that's
why is that the case? Why is that the case?
Because we only have a few people who join the. As much penetration will expand, we'll manage to touch other kind of people who probably they will want to have 1 training per week, 1.5 training per week, something like that. And of course, when we move from 1 million to 2 million members, this number, the number of check-in per month will drop definitely. But until then, this is my theory that low cost doesn't work for now in Romania.
And that is the reason, obviously.
Yeah,
I understand.
This is the reason. It already it was a German brand who opened one. It was a total fail. In 1 year, because they opened with half prices that we have. In 1 year, they changed completely the prices because after 2,000 members, the gym was blocked. 2,000 members, 2,000 square meter, but in the evening, you cannot enter literally in that gym. So this is the market now. And we'll see probably during the next 3, 4, 5 years, if we manage to grow from 5 to 7, 8% penetration, probably the things will be different. But until then, we need to understand the market, to take our steps very carefully when we decide to expand or to change a little bit the level of gyms.
Alex, I've also heard from people I know in the industry that you're also very strong on community and you build the gym around the community. Can you elaborate on that?
Yes, I think the community, it's probably the most important, and it's also a stereotype when you say, okay, so my community, blah, blah. But in reality, for fitness industry is very important. This is when my friends from international friends came to visit my gyms, they criticize me about my, let's say, my studios. Maybe it's too big. Maybe you need to do your math again on the surface of studio. If it's necessary to have this big studio in your gyms, cycling studio, it's good to have it. It's not good to have it. Let's calculate. Of course, if you translate everything in math, you probably need to erase all the studio, all the cycling studio, or the blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, that's the entrepreneur talking. That's the guy talking who's, what you're saying is exactly how an entrepreneur thinks. It's only not on dashboards and Excel sheets. It's also about the feel of it. You know what you're saying?
Exactly. But in the cycling studio, in the group classes studio, for example, it's all about community. Those people who have members from 6-7 years, they still coming, they bring their husband, they bring their kids, and they manage to grow the community. And that community, if you have 100 people in one gym, they are really strong in your community. They will talk about your gym, they will invite friends in your gym, etc. So we are very focused to have events. We have, for example, in group classes, I never want to work with how it's called from Sweden for the group classes.
Les Mills.
Les Mills.
Yeah, that's
for example,
brand.
Yeah, it's a Les Mills. It's a very nice brand. I admire what they are doing, but I do not want to adopt them because they have very strict procedure for the trainers, very strict classes design. So in my classes, I encourage the trainers to keep the relation open with the members. If there is an anniversary in that classes, go and bring some cake with them.
Nice.
If this kind of things there that keep the community very, very strong. Also, as I said, with music, we have continuously party with DJs, anniversary party. So we try to keep active, not only to people to came, train, go home. Because this is a low-cost mentality. Came to gym, train, maybe you forgot your membership to use it. We try to keep community active with every possibility that we have.
So, Alex, tell me, why would somebody, I mean, you've got multiple gym chains now in Romania. Why does somebody come to you and not to some other place? What's the thing that they love about your gym chain that they come to you?
Now, after the market maturing, let's say, also the present, the chains in Romania, it's a little bit, it's clearly a little bit, the concept are a bit clearly. And we managed to, 4 or 5 years ago, everybody built the same gym. Exactly the same TPR. Now, if you look at the big player in Romania, you will see you have one with more premium, let's say, with pools, with
world class.
Yes.
So, yeah.
If you will have another one like 18 gym, let's say.
Correct.
They are very focused on fitness directly. They don't have studio. They don't have. They don't put so much design in their club. They are very focused on equipment.
Correct.
And then we will have StayFit, where we continue to have studio. We continue to improve in technology. If you will look at your gym, you will see virtual trainings. You will see different technology that, as I see now, we are, let's say, leader in using newest technology. We love to do that. So we build this community, and we try to build also design. Probably you'll see in our club, we try to have a nice design, a pleasant design, but in the same time we have affordable prices continuously. So we are in mid-market. We continue to have affordable prices. When, for example, when you go in the new city, there is a small city with another two gyms there. Those gyms probably was built 10, 12 years before and nobody renovates something on them. We'll go in a nice location, but we'll have the similar prices. And it will be easy for members to choose in this situation. So I think the community and the design of the clubs is our first argument.
Got it. Alex, when you're running a gym chain as big as yours, right, and you're spending the kind of money on technology and everything, how do you manage financial discipline? How do you manage to make sure that you're always afloat as an organization? Because, this is a very highly capital intensive business, right? And I remember we were sitting next to each other on the bus while we were coming back, and we spoke about the loans that you can get from the banks and the payback periods and everything. So explain me this journey of, as you started growing, what was the importance of financial discipline? And how did you structure your organization in terms of equity, debt, and because all this is coming at the back of rapid growth, right? So you're growing, but you have to manage financial discipline. You have to still keep the community there. You have to make the staff feel really good about things. You have to make the customers feel that they are part of something big and it's not just a place where they're coming and paying money. There's a lot of moving parts. And on top of all this, obviously, you're running a business because it's a business, so it has to at the end of the day make money for you. And business also comes with liabilities, which means that you've got loans that you've taken out, you've got leases on equipment. So if you can run us through this financial discipline aspect of it.
When you put all this together, after another, is look even harder.
It is. I mean, people don't realize how difficult this business is.
Yeah. Let's look back. When we start our first gym, we really have had something like 40k euro to open the first gym. And we took some equipment from a guy who said, if you don't pay my equipment back, you don't want to do that. This was my first one. So, in fact, it was a little bad expression, but I will not tell you that now. We are used for 7 years, something like that, to be very frugal, me and my partners. And we look at every penny we develop ourselves in like a very careful entrepreneur that look at every penny that go into the business to do the best thing that we can with few money, let's say. And then when we managed to bring our investors with us, then they help us. Probably the most valued things that they bring to us was the financial discipline, because they are a private equity. And then they learn us very good in the first year how to understand the financial of the company and how we managed to go to the banks to explain that our story. Because imagine until StayFit start getting loan from the banks in 21, it was only some loans that work class have it before, probably the same bank. So it wasn't a real history in banking for fitness in Romania. We need something like 8 months at the beginning to have our first loan, because they said, okay, but what can you guarantee? Okay, but I don't have really a good guarantee for you. Only the machines. But what the hell I can do with the machines, because we don't have a secondary market here in Romania. Who will gonna buy all this machine of second hand? And it was something like 8 months of discussing with the banks.
Which year was this, Alex?
2021.
Okay.
Not so far.
Yeah. Okay, now.
And it was really, really hard to convince them to get our first loan. And then they realized after first, because we have some money input from our equity partners, then we built some location. It worked good. Then we managed after, let's say, 8 months to have our first loan, and the things were very nice. And they realized, okay, probably it's not that risky to put our money in fitness. Then everybody look at how wellness sector is growing and is booming all over the world, and they said probably, okay, StayFit probably it was the most aggressive player back then and now, but back
Still
then
is.
they need to put their money somewhere in wellness. As a bank, you want to get
your portfolio
exposed
diversification.
to wellness industry. And after our first loan, it was very hard. It was in Romania we have a product that is guaranteed by the state. You can take from a commercial bank that they give you a guarantee from the state, but you need to pay for that premium money, premium costs, and only that was the only way that we managed to get our first loan. And then when we prove that we don't lose money in almost none of our gyms, they look at we have a lot of covenants. They looked very specific at every gym. We don't look at whole together. They look specifically at individual. Yeah. And I don't know, after 25, 30 locations, they see they don't bleed to other, some location, they gain more trust. And now it's more easier.
So Alex, are all your gyms under one overall entity, one single entity?
One single entity. Yeah. That's why probably it's better for the banks, Correct. It's better for the landlords. They have more trust to be partner.
And Alex, what kind of moratoriums do you get? Like initially when they give you the loan, because it takes I know it takes a long time. I've opened gyms, so sometimes from the day you decide to open a gym, the legals, the leasing, everything put together, it can take as long as 2 years, a year and a half, 2 years. So when do you take the loan? When do you start paying back? I mean, again, I'm talking from a perspective of somebody who doesn't understand this. So
usually when we sign the loan, let's say you sign a 5 million loan, just for an example, and then it's not dedicated for a specific number of location with address and everything. You say, okay, I will build 7 location, just for an example, and then we start working, of course, for each one. But if there are change because one is delayed, we find the one that we can move quick. It's no problem for the banks. And then when we start working to one location, we start dragging money from that loan.
Got it.
And we have, for example, 3 months for one location to drag our money. And this is a project. So from that big loan, you split it by project. So
from 5 million, for example, you've taken 1 million out for a particular gym.
For a particular gym. Usually we have a period of grace for, 12 months, let's say. We pay only the interest, and then we start paying also the principal.
Got it. And from a individual gym owner perspective, if I am, say now 2 or 3 gyms, and I want to go that route of taking loan from the bank, what is it that I should keep in mind? What can go wrong? What should I be very careful about, and that doesn't make my company go into liquidation?
Yeah. First of all, I think you need to be careful with money because it's easier to invest more than you need.
Yeah.
Then
good point.
Then you need to debate with the banks because, of course, they can give you 1 million, but they can ask you to participate with 50%, for example. And this is not very good because also VAT is not supported by them.
Correct.
And if you have total 1 million cost, they will give you 500. You will need to bring 500 and another 200 for VAT. So you need to do your maths before. Then it's better if you manage to ask them a grace period. For an individual player, it will be hard to ask 12 months, but I don't know, at least 3 months or 6 months if you manage.
So 3 to 6 months of interest only end of a loan.
You have a 6 months period for maturing the gym to bring some people and to manage to create a decent cash flow.
So when you go to that initial period, which we call pre-sales typically in our industry, explain me your pre-sales strategy, because that has to talk to finance, because you're servicing, even if you're servicing interest only, it's still something to be serviced, and you would rather have it coming from a revenue that's already there, or would you dip into the revenue of the overall parent entity?
No. So regarding the paying of the interest is not correlated only with that gym.
Particular
No,
gym.
only investment it's
Got it.
corrected. Then we pay for the main accounting.
And that's the advantage of having a one single unit entity holding all the gyms together. Got it.
It helps us to give some money back because if you to be 100% honest, if you are a startup, you want to go to the banks in Romania to ask $1 million, you have no chance.
Yeah,
definitely. I don't know how it is in UK, but in Romania, because from 1 million, let's say, for building a club, you will have probably 400K in equipments, let's say, and the rest of them to put in building HVAC, everything.
Fit out, yeah.
So fit out cannot be a guarantee for the banks, so they only can take your equipment. So there will be, you have no chance to be 100%. But maybe, as I said to all those who want to start a new gym, try to not going through 1-2 million gyms from the beginning, because you will need to learn how the
you started
the
with the 40,000 euro. Absolutely. And that too, not from the right person.
This is not exactly the situation if you compare back then, because when we start, in reality, we started and did money. We didn't have money to put tiles on the showers, and we have some rubber paint to put it there. So it was worse. But we opened in sector 2 in Bucharest, and in a radius of 3-4 kilometers was no gym there. So it was very good for us because people don't have any chance. Now, if you open a gym that similar with that we opened back then, probably nobody will visit you. But back then was a good momentum for us.
Yeah, different time. So run me through your pre-sale strategy, Alex. How do you go about the entire thing? So let's put a timeline to this, right? So you finalized the property now, right? And it's under legals. I want to also definitely speak about the fire approval the problems that you have around that. Process of saying, okay, I've seen this property. This looks nice. It's a good area. I think the one gym we mentioned, we visited last time in Timisoara, and you said the only reason I'm here is because there's no gym here in this area. It's a small population. Yeah. If a second gym opens, maybe there'll be a challenge. But right now, because this was a small area and there was no gym, it was a good market to be in. So in a market like that, how do you do the pre-sales? And I remember, if I'm not wrong, members have already started telling you, can you take more space in that on the right hand side? And you said, man, getting this single fire approval was so difficult. Getting the other one is going to be a pain in the ass.
Unfortunately, this is a problem in Romania with everything. It's connected with bureaucracy, let's say. But there are so many differences between the buildings that you manage to find them. Because if you go into the shopping mall, for example, it will be easier because the shopping mall already have the fire permit. You only need to present with your plans to integrate it in the biggest plans of the shopping mall. So it will be simple. Just a quick reminder, the last 25 location for 30 from StayFit was inside of shopping malls. So in that direction, we are covered. There are some buildings, you find a nice building, you think it's perfect, it's a residential building, everything, but the building himself doesn't have a fire permit. And this is crazy. We dropped some location because of that, because in Romania, for example, you find a 4-floor building, you want to take 2 floors, let's say, you cannot get fire permit only for your location. You need to take for all the building.
So that landlord will have to do.
Yes, and they need to invest, they need to put money, everything, and it's not good for us. So, for example, in Timisoara, we'll start working in the middle of city, one of the biggest locations that will have 2,000 plus members. But we signed the contract 2 years before, and we'll start work only in 2 weeks or something like that.
Wow.
Because there was needed to have a construction permit, then the ISO permit, and everything in the middle of Timisoara. Imagine we cannot do it another way. So we stand for two years in this. But when you open so many locations, you simply forget about that. You put people
on the job,
and when it's ready, it's ready. Regarding pre-sales that you're asking me, To be honest, it's not very easy those days for us with pre-sales because we have so many locations that will be open in the next months, and it's becoming a little bit difficult to communicate for all of them location. We use a lot of communication, Instagram, Facebook, everything, radio, blah, blah, blah. But still, if you have 4 locations that will open in the next 2 months or 3 months, it will be very hard to promote all of them.
Correct.
All of them. So we need to understand. We stay, for example, if you open a new city, we'll be very focused on that one because we just opened in Brașov, our newest location. We had probably the best pre-sales that we ever had. It was our first location there. It was a very good location in residential area.
What's the capacity of the gym?
In capacity is different in Romania. As I said, there is something like 1,400 square meter.
That's a good size gym.
It's a good size, very nice location. And for us, good pre-sales, it's around roughly above 500 members or something like that. This is
and do you have contracts, or is it a rolling contract here? How do members pay? Can they cancel? Do they pay monthly, annually? What's
pre-sales or in general?
In general.
In general, we have a different type. We have full year contract with monthly payment, and we have rolling without contract. With, of course, with difference of prices.
And typically pre-sales is?
Typical pre-sales is only two different prices because usually we split in fitness or all inclusive, let's say.
Got it.
This is usual. In pre-sales, we only sell all included.
Got it.
With 35% off at the regular prices. And pretty much this is the most desired, let's say. This is open contract, because also when you open new city, people don't know you that much.
Correct.
They prefer to stay in a contract without open contract.
Yeah, got it. But if you would open Bucharest, where you already have presence, would you still do that?
We will have 2 options. This one more cheaper will be the contract of 12 months.
Is that the industry trend here? Does everybody do that?
No. Imagine until 1.5 years ago, direct debit was forbidden in Romania.
Yeah, I know.
This is crazy.
Mad.
We need 1.5 years or 2 years to explain people that we're not gonna steal their money.
Yeah, I remember who was telling me this. I think I was talking to Kent, and he said people actually come back and say, "Oh, you're stealing my money from my bank account without asking me."
Yeah. It was hard. Imagine first time. We started recurring payment with direct debit in June 23, I think. But the people adopted. And now we are in a process from the last month. We're starting a strategy, and it was a 2-month strategy, and we will move all the membership in online payment. So until final of September, I hope we'll be all moved there. It will be challenges, we'll see. But we said, okay, it is what it is. We need to do that for our business. So also even the contract members, the contract membership with 12-month contract, it's way cheaper than the regular one. We fight to increase that number. When we start doing a 12-month contract, in the first year, we managed to have something like 10% of members there. Now I think we are to 20%, but it's not very, very easy to convince people to sign a 12-month contract.
And 80% are on rolling.
Yeah. Rolling in reception, but hopefully only rolling in.
And what's your average stay time, spent by a member in the gym in terms of number of months?
Also hard. I can tell you, but it's very, very different if you compare with Western market. It's also one of our problem in Romania. I make some calculation also for market, also for StayFit. The numbers wasn't very great. At market level, I think it was something like 2.5 months.
Wow. Yeah. Why is it so?
Because retention was not a good subject for us because the payment method was forbidden, remember, until 1.5 years. Everybody came to reception to pay. So it's
That's
a mix.
nightmare.
It's a mix of things that you, in my calculation, because we have done that at country level, it's around 2.5 months. For StayFit, we are much better than the average, but we are still at 5 months or something like that. Still very, very low. Depends how you look at this, because we are doing good financially now. We are healthy with this assumption and with this statistics. And now we need to do our best to, in the next 2 years, to get close to the European average.
And what's the European average?
It's not. I don't know if for example, in Turkey, I talk with my friends from Turkey. They hit 14 months.
Wow, that's a good.
A lot.
Now, is that? Do you think that's because of the direct debits allowed there?
There is a consequence.
Yeah,
but not only that. We will need to work off our customer journey. We'll need to work out our interaction. Now we work for starting implementation with chatbots to discuss with people, to help them to be their partner in training. So it's a
mix of
it's a mix of things, but also the way they are paying, it's important.
Yeah, I'll go back to my experience when I was at the conference. People sharing practices. This was one of the things that people raised around. I still remember. I think when you look at other countries and their constraints, Zolt spoke about how difficult it is in Hungary to grow. And he spoke about that we can't survive in that market because of whatever constraints he had. And when you listen to people, you say, yeah, every country has a different, problem or different challenge, which Romania obviously has its own set of problems. So if, what do you think has been the role of Romania Active? I think this is, with Kent leading it, and I know I had a long conversation with Kent on this, and I think the entire team at Romania Active, everybody is really active in terms of sharing best practices. What's been the role of that organization in shaping the way you're building your organization?
Related to Romania Active, let's look back when we decided to start it. Before COVID, in Romania, even that still existing something like 700-800 gyms, nobody in government or authorities consider us an industry. The best example that I always put it on the table is when they decide to close the businesses in COVID, they put the gyms together they said we'll close the fashion stores, and they close us together with them because nobody talk about fitness specifically. Yeah. We close everything. We close fitness as well. Wow. So we realized that, and with some friends in industry, we decide to start an association. Then we contact Kent. They was the biggest player back then. He is a very experimented guy who worked in Sweden in similar, I think with Sweden Active or something
SATs
like that.
Also, yeah.
Back then, all the colleagues, we bring 10, 12 people together. I supposed to be the president there. And they said, okay, Kent is more experimented than me back then, and let's let him to be the president of the Romania Active. I am an executive president now, and he helped us, to be very honest, because he was more experimented in this bureaucracy. I don't know what it's connected with. Europe Active, it's connected with other markets.
Correct.
Back then, and together we decide to create one single voice because nobody, as I said, listened to us, and we start going to authorities. We met all the ministers that it's close to our industry, health minister, economy minister, sports. So we met everybody. We tried to. And we managed to have some success. We proposed them to have this deductibility for company regarding the membership. It worked for 7 months in Romania. Unfortunately, after that, somebody just decide to decrease the amount from 400 euro to 100 euro, there is still 100 euro deductible, but it's way too low, let's say. So in the last 3 years as an association, we managed to bring in attention to our authorities. There is a fitness industry here. We need to treat us separate. We are a sports industry. People are getting healthier here. So let us to do our business. Also, after they realize we are an industry, they realize we have 5% VAT. Now we have 21.
Yeah, I know.
Is getting better and better.
And customers don't understand, do they? For them, it's outflow, right? It's like, at the end of the day, it's more expensive.
Back in 2018, they decreased the VAT for the Horeca and for the hotels. And because some of gyms was situated in the hotels, they decided to put all at 5%. It was very good because in matter of 1 month, the fitness industry was double numbers because it was a black money there. In a month, everybody get to the surface, and it's visible in the register that 2019, if you compare to 2018, the amount is probably double.
Wow.
And then we stayed at 5% until last year when they decided to increase it to 19 first time.
Yeah.
Because our Minister of Health decides to tell in the national television, it's okay to run in the park. You don't need to. This is a luxury to go to the gym.
Yeah, put him under a bench press with 100 kgs. We'll see what luxury is.
Yeah, unfortunately. And now it's 21 because all the services, the general VAT was changed. So now we are recognized as an industry. We have our own rules. We really work to create some standards in the industry, some good standards. We don't want to scare with the small entrepreneurs because everybody need to survive and to work in this industry. But we want to exist for our government. And this is the story of Romania Active. And now, as you see, we managed to bring Central Eastern European Active Summit here by the second year. Yeah. We managed to bring nice and experimented people in Romania, and it's kind of proud for us.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. I mean, it's commendable that you've been able to do it in such a compressed time frame. Usually these kind of associations take a long time to establish themselves. So Romania Active and then attracting the Central Eastern European, like I was surprised about the gym chain in Greece with 90 studios and Pilates, man. That was just we don't know what we don't know. As simple as that, right? And I think a lot of times when you go and listen to leaders who achieved what they've done, it just teaches you a lot. So one of the things, Alex, is I know people from your team. What's your next level of leadership? After you, what's your next level of leadership? And I'll have a follow-up question on that then later.
The next leader, just
your next line of management under you. Who are your reportees? Your next level of leadership.
Okay. In my organization, you mean? Yeah. So I have another 5 person that, let's say, surround me. Let's call it top management directors. Correct. I have 5 person like that. There are a few. One of them, to be honest, my right hand, let's say, it's a guy who was the receptionist in my first gym that I opened.
Wow.
So after the first gym that I opened, after 3 months, he joined the team at reception, and of course he had his stages. He was gym manager, then regional manager, and he's the operational manager for entire chain.
Wow.
Then we have, as I said, 5 total guy who surround me, and we talk a lot about everything. We have our brainstorming when we decide to do something like that. And of course, I have my associates. They are still active. We managed to split I am the CEO of the company, my brother is one of the associates.
Nice.
He deal with very important things for this moment in StayFit. Everything related with club construction, the newest club, everything. Imagine half of our activity is correlated with the new gyms. And I have the Marius, the third associate, who deal with everything correlated with expansion, with finding location, with this kind of things. So we managed to split by 3 of us. We split the best pie. I don't know, the most important things. And then we have another 5 guys and girls who help me running the company.
Okay. So say if I were to get into a room with all these 5 people and ask them, tell me what's Alex's leadership style, how would they describe you?
You should do that. Usually, what I think they will do, they will say about me, I'm the most calm people that they will ever met. They get angry by every time that something happened, and I'm really chill. I need to chill ourselves. Let's have a coffee and discuss about that. They get angry. It's happening now. Okay, but it's how I am. I don't play any role for doing that. They get crazy when I am that calm.
Yeah.
And they know if I start getting angry, it's something important.
Yeah.
And it's not often. I am quite a calm guy. And in the same time, I grew up with these guys. Imagine, as I mentioned, the first one, it was 11 years ago. I used to have 25 years. He had something like 19 years then. And we grew up together half of our lives. So we know each other so good. And we are really like a family there. Also, it's another stereotype that everybody uses. We really are like a family, at least at the manager levels, and I have all the trust in them.
Anything that they would say, what is it that's led you to be so successful in building an organization where people who've been your first reception have still stayed on with you? There must be some reason why they are with you. What is that thing about you that keeps, so when I've spoken to people from your team, you're like the glue that keeps everybody together in the team. You're that person who keeps everyone. What is it that about you that people appreciate, and because ours is a very difficult industry, and it's 24/7. It's non-stop. It's customer facing, right? How do you still keep people motivated?
It's a hard question. Probably you need to ask them.
I never said the questions are going to be easy.
I think I never promised them something that it wasn't happen. I think when I talked with them back then in 2020, I promised that we'll be the number 1 gym chain in the country, or maybe the Eastern Europe. And they said, back then when you have 6 locations and the leader was so far, it sound a little bit like crazy. They told me, guys, we can do that. Let's start. Let's have our trust, and we will be leader in one day. Probably back then sound a little bit awkward.
Yeah, absurd.
Yes, absurd, exactly. But everything that I promised to them was 100. I never promised something that I can control. They know that I fight for them, even with my partners, if it's the case. Because when you work with a private equity, it's a little bit different if you compare with when you have a business by yourself. They know that I fight for them to have a good situation. I am not that rigid. I am flexible. For example, if some of them don't have the mood to came to the office today, they want to stay, I have no problem. But they know if we open a gym and it's problem, everybody will take their shovels and their gloves and go to the site to work. So it's kind of open and chill relation there.
Alex, one of the things I forgot to ask you was about your StayFit Black initiative. Can you tell us what that is? Because that's the talk of the town.
So if we are in a technique, let's say talking about business, I will present you all the story, because it's a story that we have only commercial, but of course entrepreneurial it's a story that we need to understand it. So during those years that we continue looking after the location. I don't need to mention to you how important is the location for the business.
Absolutely.
During those time, it was very nice property that people trying to rent us, but we cannot afford to take it because of our business plan for regular gyms. It was too expensive, simply. Then this was the first trigger, the first need that I identified, and I said, okay, but what should I do for me to afford to rent this kind of things? Then during my visiting all abroad, I saw that there is many brands that used to have a premium part of their chain. And I said, okay, probably the premium market, we call premium facility as black, but it's not a premium gym because you see the price is not premium prices. It's
Correct.
Still in mid-market, let's say, maybe top of the mid-market in Romania.
Yeah.
And then we received this proposal from Sheraton Hotel in Bucharest, 5-star hotel in the middle of Bucharest, a very, very good location. And I say, okay, we cannot lose this location. Probably a competitor will take it. It's the rent. It's bigger than we usually pay, and I say, okay, this is the moment to act, to do something. And I start to do this concept by myself, to understand what I saw from outside, what people doesn't find in our premium gym in Romania, and I configured this black layer as a premium network for StayFit. And I put there, of course, premium equipment. I put some services that usually you don't find it in Romania, like, I don't know, a big and nice area with in-body and every equipment that they have it. I bring all the, for example, I don't know if you know the Onyx. Onyx from Matrix.
Yeah.
There will be Onyx cardio equipment,
Nice.
very nice one. We'll put sauna. We don't have sauna in regular gyms. We'll have free hydration zone with water, sparkling water, this kind of things. So we put all of this together. We change a little bit the design in a, let's say, premium way, but the prices will be still around 7-8 euro more if you compare the regular gyms. So we are still in the range of 50 euro per month. And if you will have a black membership, you will have access for all the regular network. And let's say we'll try to have one of these per cluster. Let's say
So how do you define a cluster?
Biggest city, it's a cluster. Or if there is not enough big, probably some 2 or 3 city. Smaller one.
So how many are you aiming to have in Bucharest?
Probably, if you look forward 3 years, when StayFit will have more than 100 location, probably will be 7 to 10% of location will be black. This is how I see it now. Not so many, only for those who will want a little bit more. Probably in Bucharest, 4 locations, it will be more than enough. But we already opened one in Iași. It's one of the biggest city. Probably one in Timișoara, one in Cluj. This kind of settlement I see now.
Got it. Alexandru, about your personal life, how do you balance 2 kids, your wife, your 2 kids, traveling and growing the business at neck break speed? How are you balancing this? This is something all entrepreneurs would want to ask you.
Probably my wife is the perfect person to answer of this question.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah. I always try to keep a balance. I don't want to complain now to tell you about how how hard is my life, and because probably when you do something with pleasure, it's not that hard.
Right.
Of course, it's hard because I have so many inputs per day from each direction, but I managed to find a solution to what is important stay, what is not so important only pass my head. So, as I said, I have 2 kids. It's 3 and 8-year-old. I try to spend as much as I can in a matter of time with them. I am so lucky that I live in the same area with my associate, my friend and my associate, a big yard with 3 houses, and all of us have only boys between 3 and 9 years. So they grew together.
Nice.
My personal life is good. Let's hope will be the same. When we put together with work, my wife also working with me in StayFit.
Nice.
We were together when we launched StayFit. We are together now.
Nice.
So it's easier, a little bit easier, because when she is also involved, I can explain why I stay so much in the club openings or this
because
kind of thing.
Because she knows the problems.
She knows all the problems, and she knows that there is some of them that I need to solve it.
Yeah.
But now I understand that the CEO life, it's also about delegating things. I cannot do everything. It was a long period that I thought that I need to be everywhere and to solve everything. Thanks God, I understand that I cannot be one-man show and this size of building. As I said, my team helped me a lot. I try to stay focused on strategy. I try to stay focused on big direction. I try to act as a CEO. At least in the last year, I try as much to do that. So I keep the balance. I'm proud of that. I don't want to ruin, because there is like a cycle. If one part it's broken, probably the second part will join it also.
Correct. Alex, final words on tips for entrepreneurs. Say somebody, especially in the fitness industry, who looks up to StayFit as a brand and say, if there is a brand I would like to emulate, it would be StayFit. How should they start this journey from a concept in mind, I want to open a gym, to becoming a successful gym chain? What's the process? How should they mentally prepare themselves for it?
For example, if you look at the Romania market, because I am good to give them an advice for this market.
Yeah.
I told that before in a summit, but I will repeat it now. It's very important for the young entrepreneurs. Usually, when you are a startup level, you will have a limited amount of money. 99% of people. If your parents are not Jeff Bezos, you will have a limited amount of money. So I always told them, let's say you have 300K and you want to start a gym. Of course, from whatever you have it. Don't try to copy exact a big chain, because you cannot compete with a big chain. As we talk in this podcast also, a big chain will have much more people to think about everything. We'll have more resources. We'll invest a lot more in different things. It will be hard to copy an existing gym and to fight with them. Try to get concept. Try to get in your direction. In Romania, for example, we are in a lack of nice concept. Usually people stay in this directors of gyms in this direction, and we don't have boutique fitness in Romania. There is, I don't know, in all Romania, I don't know if we have 5 great boutique fitness. We don't have so many personal training studio. We don't have Pilates studio. So I always told them, guys, if you are at the beginning, you have a limited amount of money, target something and try to do it perfectly. Try to beat me, try to beat StayFit on this specific area.
Yeah.
If you'll do your yoga studio and you will be 100% focused on that, you will be better than StayFit yoga classes.
So find your niche and become the best.
and become the best there, and it will be easier. If you're a good personal trainer and you have 100K, don't try to make a big gym, because you cannot compete with somebody who will spend 1 million in that similar gym. So make your own personal studio and go flawless there. Get your customer, make them happy, stay with them, and will be much more better. This is my advice for those who really want to do something in this industry, who really want to grow somehow. Maybe if you will have your own yoga studio and work good, you can open then another one and another one, and you can grow. But don't try with 10% of the regular money to compete with the same thing, because it's not working.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Alexandru. Really appreciate your time today.
Thank you for coming in Romania. As I said, after the CEO of StayFit, I am the ambassador for Romania. I talk with all my international friends. I advise them to visit Romania, because it's a beautiful country. And thank you for coming here.
Thanks. Amazing. Good stuff.